Hello everyone, and welcome back to another pregnancy diary entry. This week, I've got the scoop for you on our first checkup. Before I get into it, I want to remind you that nothing I say here is medical advice. It's simply my personal experience, and you should always consult your doctor to determine what's best for you. I also want to remind you to hit the subscribe button here on my YouTube channel and check me out on Substack and Instagram by searching at Lauren P. Clamp. I will have more pregnancy, wellness, and art content for you on those platforms. The links are always in my bio and my video descriptions. Now that we have all our disclaimers and advertisements out of the way, let's get into it. At this point in time, I am officially 8 weeks pregnant. That was determined at the doctor visit I mentioned in the intro, and it came as no real surprise. I used the Natural Cycles app to track my cycle, so 8 weeks is about in line with what the app was thinking based on my last period, ovulation window, and likely date of conception. It means my due date is still October 25th, 2025 as well. The doctor's office made its determination via ultrasound. Yes, I got an ultrasound, and I'm happy to explain why. There is a growing suspicion of ultrasounds in the crunchy community, and I get it. Before I got pregnant, I never really thought about it, but I've since learned why a lot of moms-to-be opt out. Ultrasounds emit radiation, and some say the waves can disrupt fetal development. While I'm sure that's true to a degree, my intuition told me that doing at least one ultrasound would be okay. I can't really explain that logically, it was just a knowing that I had. So I went through with it, and so far, I'm glad I did. So, how did it all go down? Well, my husband and I showed up to the OBGYN's office and got checked in and all that. The first thing that happened after they called us back was, in fact, the ultrasound. I was extremely nervous, not because I felt it was dangerous, but because I was anxious to know if the baby was doing okay. I hadn't had any bleeding or pain beyond moderate cramping, but I just didn't know how it was all going in there. I was glad to jump right into the ultrasound so that I didn't have to sit around worrying for half the appointment. I laid down and got jelly on my belly, and then the ultrasound tech got to work. She was really sweet and enthusiastic, reassuring us that the baby was doing really well and looking quite healthy so far. Chris and I both got emotional seeing little baby for the first time, and it was a really special thing to witness together. Like, we did that. The tech explained everything we were looking at, and she also checked around my uterus and ovaries. She measured the length of the baby, which was how she confirmed my due date and number of weeks pregnant. Apparently, babies grow at the same rate during the first trimester, and that rate will tell you how far along you are. After the first trimester, the baby grows at its own pace, and there is no real standard. I never knew that, so I thought I'd share in case you didn't either. The tech also measured the baby's heartbeat, which she said was healthy and strong. This was a huge relief for us, and we ended the ultrasound feeling optimistic and excited. After we wrapped up with all that, we waited to see the doctor. My normal OBGYN doesn't deliver babies, so we had to see a new doctor. I'd never met her before, so I didn't know what to expect, but I was pleasantly surprised. She was very sweet and amenable to the way Chris and I want to do things. At my last visit, we were asked to consider some genetic testing to see if either of us carried diseases that could be passed on to the baby. We told the new doctor we'd like to opt out of that testing, and she was fine with that. We chose to skip it because at the end of the day, it doesn't change anything. We're having this baby no matter what, and rather than stressing over hypotheticals, we'd like to enjoy this time. The only downside to opting out of the testing is that it means we won't know the sex of the baby until 20 weeks instead of 10. That's a long time to wait, and I want to know, now, but I know we made the right choice. The doctor jokingly called us old-fashioned, so I guess most people get the testing. We are not most people, and we are indeed old-fashioned, but that's the way we like it. The doctor also asked me some questions about how I'm doing and my medical history and lifestyle. She asked if we wanted to do another ultrasound at 12 weeks to look at the thickness of the spinal cord. Looking at this can potentially detect things like Down syndrome, but the sex can't yet be determined. Considering some of the concerns about ultrasounds and the fact that my first ultrasound showed a healthy baby, I haven't yet decided if I will do the 12-week scan. I told her I'd think about it, which she was fine with, and she made me an appointment in the event that I decided to do it. If I did want to do it, it could be hard to get on the schedule. I was good with that, and I'll let her know my decision within the next few days so I can free up the slot for someone else if I don't go through with it. I feel fortunate that I haven't met a lot of resistance in the mainstream medical system so far. Fingers crossed that it keeps up. After meeting with the doctor, it was time for prenatal labs. I was possibly more nervous about this than the ultrasound because I hate having blood drawn. I'm glad I didn't know ahead of time that they were going to take 8 vials of my blood for testing. I found this out after they were done, thank God, but the mere notion made me feel ill. Still, I didn't pass out. I ate a protein bar after they finished to balance my blood sugar. I was reclined in a chair while the blood was drawn, and I waited a few minutes to get up just in case. The woman who took my blood was kind, patient, and understanding. I do find that if you tell people you're nervous instead of trying to play it cool, they will take extra good care of you, and that's what happened in this situation. I probably hate awaiting lab results as much as I hate having my blood taken, and these results were extra suspenseful. I haven't had blood work done in a couple of years, so I didn't know what I might find. Thankfully, I got the results the next day and they were all normal. My doctor confirmed that in her notes, and now I can rest easy. This appointment was a big deal because it was the first time we could gain insight into the health of my pregnancy. I have nothing to compare it to, and having some hard proof was important to me. I am so grateful to God that the baby is healthy so far and that I am too. I put so much time, effort, and money into my health, and having confirmation that my efforts are working is really vindicating. I plan to keep doing what I'm doing for my pregnancy and beyond. That's all I've got for you this week. Please stay tuned for the next diary entry. I'm not sure yet what it will be about, but I know I'll find something to share. Until then, I'd love to hear from you in the comments, ask questions, and weigh in on the ultrasound debate. I'm here to help and connect.